Hey guys, today we're going to talk about a bit of a more serious topic, so I will try to keep it lighthearted, but I'm going to be honest, it's a little bit hard for me to talk about, so I will do my best. Basically, I want to talk about body image when you are chronically ill, because I think it's something that a lot of people who aren't chronically ill maybe don't think about, but if you are chronically ill, you're going to think about it a lot, or at least I do. I have never been great with food. When I was little, my parents used to say that I would eat like a bird, as in I didn't eat very much at all. Once I grew up and I got older and I moved out of the house, I had trouble remembering to eat or getting, healthy, proper meals together, things like that. It stressed me out a lot, so that was one issue. The other issue is since getting in a wheelchair, I have been very, very worried about my weight and my appearance overall. I'm very scared that my legs will atrophy and that they'll shrivel up. I'm afraid that I will gain a lot of weight. Not that how do I put this? I don't want to body shame anyone at all. And I think that beauty standards are stupid, but they exist. And so whether it's just the way I've been raised or how I feel, I am worried about gaining weight. I know it's not the end of the world, but it is something that I worry about. I also worry about my health and in that sense, as well as, exercising, which I can't always do. But then you see people, how do I put this? You see people who are also in wheelchairs who are at the gym all the time, doing sports, or I see people that I follow who are doing like bikini competitions or literal models. I have a couple friends who are actual models, and I just think, what the hell is wrong with me, basically? And that's kind of hard to get through my head. There's also the EDS factor. One of EDS's symptoms, I guess, is stretch marks. So I have a lot of stretch marks over my body, and that sucks. And I'm really self-conscious. I shouldn't be. I'm working on, getting over that by doing things I love, wearing things that I love, and things like that. But the fact of the matter is, I do still get very uncomfortable with parts of my body. So, for example, I sometimes film without makeup. That is very difficult for me because I'm very self-conscious about my acne and my skin and things like that. I have a side tattoo that almost no one sees because I'm worried about the size of my tummy. I don't know. I think that most people are insecure, especially when they're teenagers, but if you're chronically ill, it goes to a different level because it's harder for you to combat that, if that makes sense. Because people are already staring at you a lot more because you look different, for me because I'm in a wheelchair. But then there's also the fact that if you're able-bodied, you probably can't exercise. And if you're chronically ill, it's a little bit harder. I'm not saying it's impossible, but when you have a lack of energy and a busy schedule and you're not allowed to do most exercises, well, it's more difficult. And I don't like saying that because then it sounds like an excuse, and I don't want to make excuses for myself either because I could exercise. There are things that I could still do, but I don't know. I still get really self-conscious, and that's something I super need to work on. Although I'm far from perfect, I would like to note I'd like to note a couple of solutions that have been helping me with the whole body image thing. First, in terms of food, it's always important to remember that everything in moderation is okay, and maybe think about seeing a dietitian or a nutritionist. I actually went last year, I think it was, and she gave me some really helpful sheets that are still on my refrigerator that involve basically what you should be having for every meal, like what food groups and that sort of thing, and that's been really helpful. Having a food schedule can really help too, especially if you're into routines like I am. As for how your body looks, I would recommend honestly going on a shopping trip and buying at least one piece of clothing that you feel really, really beautiful and comfortable in. This will help up your confidence as well as it's fun, honestly. Finally, and I know this is hard, try not to think about it too much. If you catch yourself thinking about how you look or what you've been eating, catch that thought and say, okay, I recognize this is happening, but it's not healthy, so I'm going to think about something else. This will help it from becoming an obsession, help you from worrying, and get your mind on. I guess I'm curious if everybody else has this experience. I feel like it's a pretty common thing, but I would love to know. So do you feel self-conscious about certain parts of your body? Did that go up once you got sick or hurt or whatever? If you're not sick or hurt or whatever, how is your body confidence? Do you feel like there are things you could do to combat the insecurities you have? How does that all work? I'm very curious. Obviously, we shouldn't feel like this. Everybody's pretty beautiful, in my opinion, but I at least am about 20 times harsher to myself than I would ever dream of being to other people. And then there's the whole depression, anxiety thing where your brain is lying to you. So it's a little bit hard to, well, get over. I hope that made sense. I just wanted to get those thoughts out because they've been bothering me a lot lately. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a great day, night, week, afternoon, whatever. And I will see you next Sunday. Bye.